Elf Village 1. And this is going to last like 6 episodes until we figure out what happened to Kumo. Elf Village Battle. Sorry, Elf Village Battle. Before was Elf Village 1. Now this is Elf Village Battle. Elf camp outside the barrier. When you ask what is the most dangerous mission for the elves, most people will answer the patrol outside the barrier that protects the village. The barrier set up around the village is the absolute defense that has never been broken in the long history. However, just because of that, they can't afford to not be cautious. The elves placed soldiers for the patrol outside the barrier even in the peacetime, and performed a patrol whenever there was any suspicious part or not. The reason why this mission is the most dangerous for the elves is because of a certain monster inhabiting outside of the barrier. The name of the monster is Queen Terratect. The monster with the power of the myth rank that said that there are 5 of it in the world. One of those. The Queen Terratect made this forest as its house. In addition, it's close to the elf village. The Queen Terratect gives birth to the subordinate monsters by the spawning skill. These monsters aim and attack the elves obstinately. In case of a lower rank one, the strength is not a big deal. However, as for the monster of the species called Terratect, the strength skyrockets by evolution. The Terratect species that evolve and become an adult is a brutal monster that's equal to the dragon species. In the forest outside the barrier, such evolved individuals of the Terratect species lurk. Even the lower rank individuals make the nest sometimes, and when someone gets caught in the nest, even a skillful elf will die without being able to escape. Although it's safe in the barrier when they go out, it's the spider's hunting ground, the most dangerous place for the elves. However, a threat different from it has gathered outside the barrier now. The allied forces of the humans. It's the enemy led by the Ringzant Empire. It's the place where the Terratect species strode. Usually, the humans formed a formation and stand by. The figure of the Terratect species is not seen. The elves predict that it's probably been exterminated by the army. Although they don't think that a queen can be defeated, the queen rarely moves by itself. It seems that it's abandoned. The existence that have threatened the elves so far was defeated by the existence that threaten the elves now. Only the kind of the threat changes, and either way, it was a situation that can't be welcomed for the elves. The elf observers observe the state of the army. What should be paid attention is the existence of the magic division that has been advancing the preparations for the large-scale magic all the time in the firm defense. As for the elves who have long lifespan and deep intelligence, it's obvious that they have the knowledge of the skill more than the humans, and even if they compare it with the knowledge, there's no magic that corresponds to it. It was an unknown magic construction. The hugeness of the construction exceeds the strategy class magic called Great Magic lightly, and it takes pride twice of the magnificence. The preparations for several days is also abnormal. It can't be predicted what will happen if such a huge magic is activated, even if they have the elves' knowledge. The elf observers consider to somehow interfere when there's a chance. However, it was not put into practice. The basic strategy of the elf forest is to climb the tree and showers magic and arrows in the opponent and the ground from the top. Because this ground forest is made of large trees, the space between the trees is wider than the normal forest, but still, because it's a forest, it's a narrow and complicated terrain compared to the plain. It's a place where it's considerably difficult to move the army. The march becomes slow by all means, and the formation of the army is disordered to avoid the trees, which are the obstacle, and become sparse. If they are to attack from the top, they will be helpless. The elf strategy is the guerrilla strategy. They are familiar with the forest, and they receive the training specialized in the combat. They cooperate and corner the opponent while moving individually and separately. The observers also spread out and observe the army from various angles. The observers' heads fall approximately at the same time, without knowing what happened, without realizing that they died. To be taken from the back this easily, aren't the elves not a big deal? It's a boy who decapitated the elves. If a viewer sees him, the boy will be called a ninja. Black clothes and a katana at the waist. Like viewer is in... I don't know. The katana probably decapitated the elves. That old man just pushed such a troublesome thing. The boy who scratches his head in the way that the bottom of his heart is troublesome. The state of the magic that made spending several days activates is reflected in the eyes. Well, it's best to do it suitably. It's a farce anyway. The boy who annihilated the spread elves at the same time alone, he sees the magic crashes into the barrier, bends and breaks unnaturally as he smiled wryly. It looks like the barrier broke only because the magic hits, but the boy doesn't miss the unnaturalness. Something that was different from the magic destroyed the barrier. The boy was able to see so, and in fact the boy knows that it's so. Well then, let's go. Although it's bad for Ken, my own life is more precious. The boy looks down at the state of the marching army, like it despising, and like looking down. Here was done well, so the others will do well. I mean, can this not go well? And the boy disappears in the forest with a carefree state. And, as subsequent to the boy, the monsters that lurked in the darkness have begun to wriggle. Oh, shit's about to go down. Where the hell did my cat go? Okay.